Greetings and salutations, humans. This is Froggy and Friends, and we're playing Grit. So, where we left off last time is we had 2 days after a very interesting adventure facing off against Maurice and the twins, and a mountain range disappeared. Hundreds upon hundreds of people have been have died. What else? Oh yeah, Lily disappeared from the Desert Flower tailor shop, and
we did drugs.
Oh, they did peyote, and they actually did find out that peyote is a gateway to the spirit realm, to actually see past the veil.
Totally forgot about that.
I didn't.
And so
Tulak definitely did not. Neither did Thaddeus.
Yeah, oh, definitely Thaddeus not. So this is, and Tulak decided to buy a horse.
Yep.
Jade helped.
Yeah.
So this is day 2. You guys are about ready to have dinner. After that, there we go.
So, Tulak wants to buy the first animal handling. Can I do that right now, or does that need to wait?
Yeah,
till
you can do that now. So you want to use
some XP?
Yep. You don't have any.
I have 450 XP.
I'm just saying, you don't have any focus or anything in it at the moment.
Let me double check. I have 1 skill, and my target number is 8
at the moment.
Yep.
Okay, so to get to 2, that will take 400 experience.
Oh my gosh! Does that give me a talent in it or anything?
No, that is just an extra. Everything's pricey.
Everything is pricey.
It's pricey.
Would it be better for me to get a talent or to up the skill? Do you think? Do you
All up
recommend?
to you, because the talents have some boons. They have some bonuses.
Once you get to a certain level in it, you start getting more out of it.
Well, I'll get a talent then.
You're gonna do the talent. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Thanks.
do you remember the talents?
Not well enough. I'd have to look at it. So I don't pick the wrong one.
Okay, so just keep this sticking out like that.
Okay.
You can look at the talents.
While I'm looking, everyone else can feel free to converse.
So you're noticing that Loretta is serving the meal. There are some other people helping. And Thaddeus is pretty quiet. So,
As I can imagine the reason why.
yep. Doesn't sound like anyone is wanting to.
Sorry, I just can't do both.
Well, I'm just saying, if you guys aren't wanting to chat, we can kind of just go more. We don't have to go moment by moment. We can kind of go by what's kind of happening in a longer stretch of time. So what Tulak is doing within game would be, working with this horse, kind of working with Jade, maybe some other people helping him to get that ability. Cedric is probably doing a lot of things with science. Yeah. Okay.
As you should.
Yeah, as he should. And what is Frederick up to?
I'm sparring with Thaddeus.
Oh yeah,
What?
Yeah.
That's right.
because you wanted to up your parry.
Yes.
All right, so this is days after, because you're still kind of healing up. So I'd say it's probably like 2 weeks in. But prior to that, he actually was kind of working with you on certain things. And it's interesting, like fencing with someone that is still using a cane.
Oh, he's using it while. Okay.
Well, no, because he's having to lean, because he can't fence like regular, because he doesn't have the dexterity in his legs.
Yeah.
So everything's within his right arm. And it's astounding. Like as you're going in, this is why you're learning parry because it's very interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
He's pretty good, huh?
He's pretty good.
Oh wait.
All right.
It's slightly unsettling.
Color me impressed.
Yeah, there we go. You can look in the very back to go to the page number. It goes to talents. There you go. Let's see. Is there anything specific you were wanting to do, Cedric?
I mean, not really. Probably get more medicine because I got that. I got a little to ease the pain talent, and it says if I have a medicine bag, I don't know if you would count my bag as a medicine bag.
No,
But-
I wouldn't. So what I'd say to get a medicine bag, I'd probably put it at like $20 to get a pretty good one. And when I get a chance, I'll tell you what that does when I get the book back.
All right.
So
I'll probably go about like purchasing that in between my studies.
okay. So when you kind of go, you kind of put Cedric, you put Hansel in a cave system because it was cooler, with an apparatus to kind of be doing really creepily to get liquids flowing through the ghoul corpse.
Mm-hmm.
You're going there, and where the cut was, it's like part of the head has, like the neck has disappeared on both parts. Like disappeared. Not rotted, but disappeared.
I think that I would probably just take note of that and then probably bring it to Thaddeus sometime soon.
Now that's quite the image. How are you going to bring it to him? Like the whole thing, or?
I mean, he's out fencing right now, right? So I would just be like, come check this out.
Okay.
You know?
Well, he's definitely intrigued by it. He put some notes in his little notebook that he always kind of he has multiple different notebooks that he kind of carries on himself on the regular. But he makes some notes on it. He's like, I'll study and ask some questions and different individuals that I know. When we're all together again, I'll talk in more detail about the mountain that you guys remember and no one else does. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's it. And Frederick, would you open the history on your kitchenware origin?
Oh yeah.
Okay. It seems that they got it off of a group of gypsies that they'd just gotten off the boat, and they needed quick cash, so they sold. Like it was a full group of these individuals, and they were all keeping different parts of it. They sold it as a set to Ivan, and the history that they know of is the individuals that made it used the it's actually the iron from people's blood, a large quantity of that.
All right.
Yeah. But people it was like they had chose to do that. That's what made it interesting.
All right.
Yeah. That's, So yeah, and each person in that group kind of had a different story about it. Some said it was parts of Romania and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
Um, 141. I am looking up that kit for you, Cedric. Okay, the healer's bag. Should have the number of uses here. I shouldn't have. Okay.
It's getting a little warm.
Yeah, it was. For anyone watching, this is so interesting, isn't it? Character Francesco. No.
So that's you spent
37.
if this is outside of your gold though. Your gold is completely separate from what we're spending last time.
Bonus
That
to
means
each
if you have
unit's
$3
resources
left,
used.
right?
Yes.
You guys have like a
And you
low
have
flying
how much
bomber
gold?
like we have here sometimes.
Oh no, that's
So you
our
have $73 left.
that's our AC kicking on and off. So I'm gonna make sure it stays on.
Yeah.
Okay, so this kit has 3 uses, Cedric,
Okay.
and because of it, you get 1 bonus D20 to roll. So it's like you paid a dread.
Okay.
Okay, there is that. So within the weeks that followed, you guys have, different bonding times with each member of the group. But Thaddeus does sit all of you down, probably right after that chat with you, Cedric. And he just kind of starts to explain that there's been other instances where groups of people have done things and they remember large landforms or like a cave structure that exists, and then they did something and no one else remembers that it even existed. I know it's happened in England, and some people say it's because of fairies and things like that. Now I really hadn't really studied into it, but I'm definitely going to be looking into it far more. Just different instances of it. But the mass differences in people's memories is intriguing. Because you all remember it. You're all, and I trust all of you not to be messing with me. So,
How many other times has this happened before?
from what I'm finding, I've got 5 recorded, and they're not recent. One was during the time of Rome, another one, a group of Spartans. We have a Norse story, but it's different every single time, so I'm counting it, not counting it. And then 2 in India. So I'm very intrigued because the story's told by the individuals that remembered things, that they always faced something strange, and it doesn't line up necessarily with what you dealt with, but
So they did not have to fight giant snakes,
not all of them. No.
but some of them.
From what I recall, the Spartan group did, and I think one in India, but they do not look anything like what you described.
Interesting.
And that parcel that you got, the only knowledge we have of anything really undead is really those that believe in vampires. So I'm hoping that can help with that. Now Cedric, with the parts of your cadaver disappearing, being that it came from somewhere else, do you think it could be going back?
Cadaver.
Well, whenever the parts came into us, it was usually through a portal of some sort, through human blood. With you bringing that up, I could look for clues of maybe something opening something up, maybe from the other side, see if there's any traces, but it is a possibility I have not studied enough into.
Okay. Okay. Well, definitely enjoy looking into that, as well as I'll continue to ask questions and read. Yeah. The healing process for you is not a month. That's
Could take a long time.
probably like 2, maybe 3 months. So we're just kind of gonna roll some resistance,
Okay.
just to kind of see how you heal. Frederick,
Yep.
you got messed up too. So,
Yep.
but he got way more
Way
messed
more
up.
messed
So we're
up.
gonna kind of go off of his length of time, just kind of
Okay.
see how things kind of play out that way.
So for this roll, this would not be considered a survival test, would it?
No.
Okay. It's worth asking. Three successes.
Cool. So you heal up pretty good in that first month. It's because it was such a clean cut. It actually kind of, but you're still sore for the next
For
month.
sure.
And then it does take 3 months, but you're back to full
Oh, cool.
in that third month.
Okay.
And everybody now think you've got 3 months of kind of like, in essence, downtime. You're not doing any work during that time. You could be training, studying, and stuff like that. So,
Tulok would definitely be training.
okay.
Yep. He'd be learning how to ride a horse, Jade, and then
Yep.
he'd probably try to take this time as well to learn a little bit better social cues, because it's come against him on let's just say more than
Multiple.
one occasion.
Okay.
Multiple occasions.
So I don't know, it would probably start awkwardly, but he would just be observing how the rest of the gang, minus probably Cedric, interacts with public,
Okay.
and start trying to implement please
I
and
just-
thank you and
I just imagine Tulak like sitting at the bar in the corner, like watching everybody, and everybody kind of is like,
for
Okay.
our viewers, Tulak is huge, and he's Native American, so he sticks out even if he behaves.
You're in Talon's Trail. Everybody looks a little. Is it?
yeah, this is like,
This-
this,
this is-
town
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
like the
not
safest
here.
place
Yeah,
for
this is
you.
the safest place for Tulak, but like just in general on normal
Okay.
missions.
Okay. So, are you like keep an eye on Jeremiah how he interacts with people, or are the other parts of the crew?
Probably
Maybe
mostly.
to help with Lily.
They would have.
it would have. Probably mostly Jade and random townspeople. He would pay attention to Jeremiah, but he wouldn't want to. He wouldn't use it to just pick up ladies as much. So he may like remember it, but he wouldn't put it into practice to pick up ladies.
You're not
I
gonna
don't know.
watch
He
Friends.
kind of needs that after Lily.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe if we see
So
her
he
again,
would
you
pay
can woo her
attention.
back.
Well,
But
so if you go to the Ostentatious and you actually do watch Jeremiah, he treats the ladies with absolute respect, and it's like a mutual thing between them.
okay.
And the ladies are definitely way more excited when he's there because of that.
Yeah, definitely.
From that long of time watching, you would have definitely picked up on that.
Okay. Cool. Let's go into the Tulak repertoire.
Yeah,
Okay.
people watcher.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Does anyone else want to do anything? Oh, Frederick, did you figure out what you want to do with your experience? It's not imperative, but I can maybe help. if
No,
need be.
yeah, I already put points in deflection.
Oh, the talent?
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Alrighty. So, within that first 2 weeks, there was someone got off one of the trains and sat down, and Jeremiah sat down with them, and they had a really long conversation. This is kind of the beginning of you kind of maybe watching
Okay.
people, and you're just kind of noticing that he just sat down and talked to this person quite a while, and just kind of seemed pretty chipper afterward.
Okay. Can I roll observation or tell anything about this person? And if they're staying in our town?
1 second.
Okay. One thing Tulak's good at is resistance. I'll give him that. Dude's like a tank. And melee. He's not quite the Scandinavian, but he needs more hand-to-hand fights.
Oh wow. Okay, so I need.
His mysticism's pretty high, so is his survival. His discipline.
So this individual was like in town for just that conversation. It was really interesting. They kind of came in, sat down, and they played an interesting game of cards that you've never.
Cool.
He brought the cards out, and yeah. So what was your question?
Just wanted to see if, just to get to know who he was or if he was staying in town.
Okay. Did you ask? Who did you ask?
He was.
You know
he was
what?
gonna roll.
I was going to roll, but if there's conversation opportunity. So at this point, am I able to tell if Jeremiah wants to be interrupted or not? Because at this point,
They're locked in. Like this is very like intense.
I'm not going to interrupt.
Yeah, this and as the only person putting cards out is the person that came into town.
Sounds like tarot cards.
So
Tulak would not interrupt if it felt serious.
okay. After that, he cleans up his cards, wraps them up in a kerchief, tips his hat, and then as he kind of walks out the door, like you double take, and he's not like he kind of how the just kind of the whole ghost thing
Yeah.
kind of thing happened.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go, alright, hold his drink up to nobody and go back to do whatever. Hanging out, listening to the piano.
So, probably like 2 months in, you're feeling really good. You and Cedric are actually kind of like enjoying yourself
Nice.
at the Ostentatious.
Cedric.
Yeah. So I'm guessing, like, I can imagine Cedric actually trying to teach Tulak. Now this is how you drink schnapps.
I'm giving advice on how it should look and everything.
Perfect.
Once it's bubbling, you don't want too much. Don't want too much bubble in it, but if you pour it in a certain way, then you'll get less bubble. And then, when you drink it, you take your time. Take it slowly at first. Not for me, of course. I am an expert, but you, on the other hand, probably haven't had something like this, so you can take little sips. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want you to hurt yourself or come into my room for alcohol poisoning. That would be very bad.
Cedric, I think you'd be pretty surprised. Tulak is a giant, so he
That doesn't
probably
mean
could
anything.
handle. He'd probably handle it better than someone smaller.
Yes, but I have a lot of schnapps.
Okay. So would Frederick and Jay, do you imagine that you guys are in the Ostentatious at this time, or do you just kind
Yes, I would not be sitting at that table.
You're not there?
I would be probably sitting at the bar, but I'd be close enough that I could hear, but I just wouldn't be sitting at that
Okay.
table with them.
What about you, Frederick? Are you spending time during this?
Oh yeah, I mean if it's just like at night, I'm playing cards with people.
Okay, so you're playing cards. Are you at the same table as Jeremiah, or a different one?
Yeah, I'll play at Jeremiah's table.
Okay, so you're surrounded by all the ladies of the Ostentatious. Like that's it. That's where they just. That's where he's there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but because of that, it brings in other high rollers that want to play at the table.
Yeah.
So we actually get to do some gambling rolls with you.
Okay.
Roll an observation for me.
Tulak would be very interested in this.
Not so bad.
You want to roll in this?
I have 3 successes.
Okay. You definitely notice someone just kind of walks by Tulak and Cedric. They do a very motions that you kind of remember. And they just kind of circle the room, and they're kind of they want to go outside. So what?
I would
What
get
do you
up.
do? Okay.
I would get up and approach them.
Okay.
So I would, like, are they like, do they have the attention of
Well,
them,
these
or
guys
is-
are.
Are they too focused on?
Well, Cedric is used to being a partaker. Tulak is learning, so I'm thinking Cedric is drinking twice as much to try to just kind of make Tulak feel a little bit better. So you're beyond buzzed.
Okay.
Like you're kind of. The world is not spinning, but you're like
But it's loose.
your hands are.
Yeah.
You're noticing the sensations. You're like,
Like Legolas in Lord of the Rings.
oh no, far better.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
so you're the world is really in a nice place, and you're kind of enjoying that. And Cedric is starting to make sense. Like, he is one of the smartest.
Oh no.
He's
He
a
is-
genius.
He's a genius.
That's what I've been saying.
Cedric, I never knew.
Yep. This is kind of so they're zoned in on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they don't even know. Oh
No.
I'm so sorry. They don't even know.
Good, I still got it.
Okay.
So I would probably then, seeing as they don't know, I would go to their table first
Okay.
to kind of like kind of get their attention.
Okay.
Jay, did you know that Cedric is a genius?
I'm sure he is.
Jade, I was trying to convince him to put bunk beds in our room.
Jay, think
It
about
would
it.
have so much more
Think
room for
about it.
activities.
I could have the top bunk.
What's a bunk bed?
Oh boy.
Cedric, what is
okay,
a bunk
well,
bed?
this is a very long and complicated process that we've been discussing. But just think of it in layman's terms for your puny brain. You take one bed, and then you put another bed on top of
They're
it, and
out
then
the
you can
door.
sleep together. And it's real cool. You can talk about stories at night before you go to bed and tell them about your day.
I don't think you have a puny brain, Jade.
I'm sure you don't.
Just kind of like,
So you said that the person walked outside?
Yeah, they're already outside.
Okay.
tell us we're being robbed. I don't have much money to lose.
Hey, gentlemen. Do you think you should check your pockets?
Check my pockets.
Is this some kind of magic trick? Is there a concept?
If it's a magic trick, you should be missing some items.
Am I missing anything, Froggy?
Yeah.
Do I need to
I
roll
pulled out
or
an
can you
ace
just
of
tell
No,
me?
no, you just you're kind of fumbling around. You're like, wait, where'd my money go?
My Jay, did you do this?
I did not, and Jade at this point would begin to go outside.
Too long's gonna follow you. Where are you
I
going?
guess I follow too.
Who's
'cause
got my
I haven't
money?
checked my pockets, but
That's why
I'm
you guys
also
are
drunk.
yelling. I would go.
I'm gonna turn around to Cedric and go, shh.
Cedric turns around to nobody and goes, shh.
Wait, so you're leading him out?
I was walking out. They started following me.
Because she's got our money. She didn't tell us that somebody
I,
else had
I
it.
said I did not.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
said
Oh,
I
did you
didn't.
say that?
Yep.
Yes,
Oh.
I did.
Well, we're still following you to get our money. Unless you tell us not to, but I was gonna follow you to go
Well,
get.
you're already at the door, so.
Okay, so because you guys are starting to move, you stood up. I told you guys were past the buzz stage.
Yeah.
So now the blood is rushing, and you're staggering because you're drinking schnapps. No, you just let me explain this.
Okay.
I want you to roll an acrobatics, both of you.
Oh gosh. Is that a 20 or a 1?
Is it a dice?
It's a dice.
Yeah.
That's a 20.
Yep, I got a 20 and 11, so I've got a success and a critical fail.
Okay. You were walking perfect, like straight as an arrow. Once you got out of your chair, 1, 2, 3, boom! Your head hit the wall, and you just
Whoa.
were walking as you were going down.
Okay.
Nice.
And you're like,
This isn't right.
what happened to the wall? What did you get, Cedric?
One success.
One success.
Surprising.
You were walking kind of at an angle. You started to step over Tulok, and you just kind of stumbled a little bit. It's your decision if you want to help Tulok or not. You guys definitely needed 2 minimum to, get out of the building. So,
I think I turn around and grab him, like, under the arm,
okay.
trying to pick him up. I'm like, get up. We need to go. The bunk beds are calling.
Okay, so Jade, you're out the door. Roll an observation, or you can roll a thievery.
Yeah, which one is better? I'm curious. Oh, my thievery is definitely better.
Yeah, I would say so.
I have 3 successes.
Okay, you
You have 6 skills.
Passed.
It's wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely wrong.
I was-
Yeah. So someone's like, you noticed that the same color that someone was wearing, just barely noticing that cloth go behind the corner of a building in the direction of the trains.
I would follow.
Okay.
Ooh.
So as you're going, you're walking at a pretty steady pace. You feel like, okay, I'm gonna catch up. Because you got the 3, you follow at a good distance, still following, and you notice that they go past the train station.
Okay.
And there's like a kind of like a maintenance shed, like with some of the tools that they use to, and that individual goes in there.
There's no windows, I'm assuming.
No, it's just it's pretty much the same thing that they would do. They build a shack farther away to put dynamite and nitro in.
Okay.
It's pretty much it's
And there's
just
only one door.
only one door. Yeah. It's definitely bigger than an outhouse because it's got bigger wrenches and stuff like that. You're guessing it might have like hurricane lanterns and stuff like that for nighttime.
Okay. So Jade would approach it. Is there a way that she can peek inside, or is the door pretty well?
It's kind of a rickety building, but you like what are you trying to do? Just kind of describe.
So Jade would want to kind of creep up and see if she could look through like a hole or like some kind of crack to just peek and make sure she's like, if she goes in there, she's not just gonna
Get eaten by a 30-foot snake.
Yeah, or just
Okay. You kind of go around. There is like a knot hole that you can kind of see. It's really dark in there. That just seems to be individual moving, like they're most likely counting.
Okay, so Jade would, yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like Jade at this point would just go in with a pistol or two drawn,
Okay.
and basically just be like, those aren't yours to keep, kind of attitude.
Okay. So you put your toe into the door and you kick it open because it has to come this way, and the light kind of shows in, and the individual is definitely a kid. And you've got both kids, both pistols drawn that way,
Right.
and then behind them is like another kid that looks almost like very like look. They've got to be siblings, cousins, like related, but they've got like weird reddish blue, like red and blue stripes coming down the side of their face, and then they tilt their head and they
They just disappear?
like into the shadow.
And all the stuff, is it still there, or is it gone too?
Their cloaks drop, and
I
their
don't
stuff's
know
there.
what these are, but I want to play them.
So Jade would very cautiously pick up their cloaks.
Okay. You're smelling like these are like burlap sacks that they've kind of made into the cloaks, and when they actually roll a mysticism, let's just kind of see.
I wish I could assist you with that because yours is trash.
That's
what appearance seems.
I got one success.
One success. Okay, you're like you've got a weird feeling in your gut. Have you had night terror? I'm guessing Jade has had night terrors before,
Yes.
like sleep paralysis. You have that feeling for a second.
Ooh, okay, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Jade does not like that.
Yep.
So Jade would collect the belongings.
Yep. And there's the sacks, and inside the sacks is like kind of like ash, and then you've got his coin purse and Cedric's, and there's like simple metal chains that were inside each of the sacks as well, kind of like a necklace.
Okay. So Jade would obviously take their stuff to return, but she would also take like the chains and try to collect the little cloaks and the ash to bring to
Okay.
show.
Well, the door kind of slams shut, and it gets dark in there, and like right before it gets dark, there's something hanging on the chains, and then you open the door and it's not hanging there, and the sunlight hits it.
Okay, so Jade would keep those very safe.
Just
spot.
for like I'm trying to keep not as many rolls because I don't need to be building Doom right now. Tulak, I don't need to be building Doom. I don't need to be.
I haven't given you any.
I
this
know.
time.
I don't need to be building Dread right now because. All right. And just so you guys know, everything that just happened. Oh, actually, Frederick, could you roll
Okay.
a d6, and we're gonna see how you do playing cards.
What belongs did you get?
Your stuff. Some
Anyone
dress
else's?
stuff and some chains stuff. in the
I got a
dark.
3.
Something came.
You got a 3. Okay, so you're actually doing good, and
Nice.
you slam your cards down, and you're about ready to grab the pot that you just won, and then another guy slams his cards down, and he he barely beats you.
That's the worst feeling.
And then, so that's not yours, but then he starts kind of mouthing off, and the inside of the tavern becomes kind of an uproar. Jeremiah backs the girls away like, as quickly as he can, and he kind of puts his hands in his pockets real quick, and he just kind of has his hands behind his back, like, and the girls are like running up the steps because there's going to be fisticuffs, bottles, and things. And for some reason, a lot of the people are kind of angry at you, Frederick, because they're blaming you for losing, but it was the other guy for playing. What do you do?
I wish I was sober enough to have a bar fight.
I'm gonna persuade them that it's not my fault and that it is indeed this
Rapscallion.
rapscallion's fault.
Okay, so roll a persuade for me.
So can Jade
Okay.
be walking back?
You're walking back at this juncture. You guys are outside.
Okay.
You're like, we gotta find Jade.
Yeah.
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 Jade stole our stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
She wanted the bunk beds for herself.
I've only got one success.
All right, so the guy that you're pointing at comes over and tries to clock you. You can roll a parry.
I would love to roll a parry, yes. And I have the deflection or talent.
Yep, so you don't have to pay dread, the first one, correct?
Yes.
There we go. You don't have to pay me a dread. Roll a parry.
Okay. Come on. No. No successes. Oh.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so this guy comes in and he doesn't have a whole bunch of power. He actually hits you on the side that you're blind.
Oh, what a
Cheap
punk.
shot.
Yep. And then once that happens, you don't see it. You just hear it. You hear,
Jeremiah clock him.
You just hear a body drop to the ground.
Okay.
And then you glance down with your left eye. Most of his cheek is caved in
Ooh. Oh,
from
man,
one
that's
hit,
not good.
and Jeremiah is standing, like he knows he knocked him out, and he's ready to
Clock the rest
swing
of them.
again. He got enough momentum. Yeah, because that was. He's really good at that.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
You're welcome. Let's call it an evening. And so
Sounds good.
And he.
Split the pot?
Oh, well, we just need to get out of the building. They looked a little unhappy.
All right.
So he's kind of like in between you and the crowd. Yeah, and people are just there's like some people are standing over the guy that's definitely not moving yet. So
Jeremiah, I think they just want to show.
what do you mean?
I mean, the town's gotten a little stale and the people are just low rowdy. It happens. I think they want a bar fight.
Dang it! I wish I was sober.
Well, I don't. Do you want to?
You're welcome.
Do you want to stay in there?
I mean, I don't want to, but I mean, it does sound fun, doesn't it?
Well, he takes it. He takes
Bunch
his.
of more
He takes
people.
his dusters off, and he's like, "Never mind." And he just kind of. Two guys are kind of like grappling, and he just kind of pushes them aside and just goes up the steps.
Okay.
He said bye.
All right. So is he going up the steps into the tavern or like leaving?
No, like the steps inside the tavern.
To go upstairs where the ladies are.
Yep.
All right. Is everyone distracted enough where I can take the pot?
Frederick, you have 0 backup right now.
I'm gonna say you've got to either roll a really good on stealth or
Let Jade-
thievery.
Let Jade come in the building. Let Jade come in the building.
You gotta get back. Let me take a look before I think about it. What's stealthing?
That's athleticism.
Oh, thank you. I just couldn't find it.
Okay.
Can I just
no.
choose to go into the building and not talk to them yet?
It's not a good idea, so I'm gonna leave.
You're just gonna leave? You're not even gonna try?
I mean, yeah,
Make
you're
a-
right. I should
make-
just try
make a
it. I should
distraction.
just-
I feel like
No,
if
make
you
a distraction
fail,
for
the whole
Jade.
forest
Okay,
is
so
gonna
you're-
stop and look at
So
him.
you're okay.
You're not
Roll
smoking.
whichever one you were wanting to.
We'll go with thievery.
Okay.
Holy buckets. Okay, I have 2 successes.
Okay. So you make it look like these guys. There's people actually starting to scuffle and fight and grapple, and so
Yeah.
you play it off that they knocked you over onto the pot, and you're kind of slowly stuffing it into your jacket, like down your trousers. You're just like, oh, and you're like, you're fumbling around with these coins, and this guy starts going like your way, like, hey, and that's when you're walking into the building and you're seeing Frederick on the ground. You know what Frederick
Yeah,
is
I
doing,
know
and you're
it's-
seeing Jeremiah going upstairs and like helping this lady up the steps. You're like, what's going on? There's like an honest brawl. Just you're hearing bottles starting to break and people are starting to fight. And you're like, what do you do?
So Jade would try to make her way over to Frederick, and if that meant she had to throw some hands, she probably would, because at that
Okay.
point it'd be trying to get to him to get
Okay.
him out. So, I mean, she would just,
Okay,
Go
are you
right in.
throwing hands or do you pull out pistols and you got hammers?
it would be pistol whipping for
Okay,
sure.
so
Is there any-
barrel or butt?
But
Okay, so, all right, so to make it as you're not being as aggressive, you're actually holding on to part of the cylinder, so you actually have hammers,
okay.
and so you can kind of use that to parry and stuff.
Right.
Just roll a melee.
Is there anything I can do to sober up?
I
and
have
get in on
I
this
have
fun?
2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, so you're going, and this guy is swinging back with a bottle, and you just you break it, and it like goes all over him and just ducks like that, and you're not really hitting to hit people. You're just trying to get them out of your way, and Frederick, you look a little portly at the moment because this was the biggest table, and so
Wow,
you're
okay.
getting up. And Jade's helping you up, and so that was you getting to him. How are you
Thanks,
guys
boss.
getting out? Now around perfect.
What-
Around this
Is there
time,
anything I can do to sober up?
Tulok and Cedric come back in the building because you saw Jade
Yeah, we
Well,
saw her
back
go back
to
in
the-
there.
come back in the building because you're inebriated. Your discipline is going to be way stronger.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm already a tank, so this is gonna be fun.
But you're
Coordination's probably terrible.
yeah. Now you're gonna use pugilism.
Okay.
Unless you're taking out weapons to fight these people that are just using impromptu weapons.
Can I use melee instead of pugilism?
Well, what are you going to use as a weapon?
Well, I don't want to be lethal.
Smash the bottle.
Anything can be non-lethal if you try hard enough.
Yeah.
You can use your pistol.
Yeah, I can pistol whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like my swords, there's not a way to use that in a non-lethal way.
No. So,
So
Oh,
it's
you
gonna have
just
to be
smack
pistol
him
whip.
with the butt of it.
okay, number one, also, everything mental and awareness
Mhm.
is 1 to 2 steps more difficult.
Okay.
But like I said, your discipline is actually Like, you are more courageous right now because you're not fearing much.
Sweet.
So, roll an observation.
Okay.
It would usually just be a 1 success you need. You need 3 to actually see Jade and Frederick. Otherwise, you just see this
Mess.
mess.
No, don't get. You have
I'm
fortune
not-
points you can give him.
No successes for me.
None? Okay.
I just have 2.
Okay. You're just... Would he be getting excited because there's a fight?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can... Now...
He's not gonna just go pick on random people. He would more like defend an underdog more than just go in there and just pick the first guy he sees.
Okay, so you're... Just so you... Because neither of you really rolled good enough, there's a group of 30, 40 people all tussling. And you don't know... You can't tell friend from foe because of... It's too fast of movement.
Okay.
So let's see how this happens.
Okay.
So, alright. What do you do? And what do you do, Frederick?
I would ask Frederick, is there a back door? Is there a way out of here?
Oh yeah, that's a smart idea.
Is there another
Probably
door?
behind the bar.
So you're looking over there and you're seeing like the guy peeking over and like the big hair of one of the ladies
Yeah.
over there. And then a guy starts swooping over to grab something and he just gets hit real hard with like, it looks like an axe haft. Like, whoom! It's down. And it was the lady just like swinging it up.
Nice.
There is a door back there. You've got to go through like 5 or 6 people that are kind of...
Oh, that's
Yeah.
5 or 6 people. It's like
Okay.
cake at that
Alright.
point for
So-
Frederick and Jade.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But Frederick, you're holding all this stuff in your jacket. You can't stuff it necessarily in your pockets all that great. So you've got
So-
stuff falling down your pants, like into your boots, past your boots, because it's coins. And then you've got some papers and stuff like that. You've got like a watch. You've got maybe a ring that's like really feels uncomfortable inside the pants, moving around.
So Jade would go first, but she would have a hand on Frederick on his bad side.
Okay.
It's just like a way to kind of bring him with her, but
Okay.
also she can keep track of where he's at.
Okay.
Since we're going through people.
Okay, so because you're having to hold all that, Frederick, I'm going to say
Yeah.
for any parrying or any attacks, it's going to be
Yeah.
parrying. I'll say 1 step more difficult. Attacks will be 2 because you'd have to kind of get both hands.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now, all right.
I would, first thing before I go any further, I would go, Cedric, I think it's probably time for you to go home. And then I'm going to take a step into the room and just kind of see what happens next. Because I'm not, I'm not
Okay.
able to really plan anything at this point. My observation was terrible. So I'm just going to take a couple steps
Well, no,
forward.
like you were just looking in the room, and you don't. That roll just means you're seeing all this
You
movement.
don't know.
And you're like, oh.
Bar fight.
Yeah. So, what do you do? Are you gonna go through the people?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a melee, or if that's how you're wanting to do it, melee or parry, or well, because he's coming with you, I'm gonna have to say definitely you're gonna be kind of fighting or parrying your way through.
Okay,
I would say just acrobatics if it was just you, but you're pulling him along. And you can.
But I can
I have
assist
2
with that.
Yes, you can.
Maybe.
You can assist with a single dice roll.
I have 2 successes.
Okay, 2. All right.
Yes, you get a success.
Okay, so 3 successes. You're going through a lot of people, so... And fantastic, you beat all of them. Like, you're... What you kind of do is you trip one of them that kind of goes into they start scuffling even more, so you can kind of pull him through, and he's bumbling around with that, and then he kind of turns and he like elbows a guy like on purpose and accidentally at the same time because he's like, oh no, I'm dropping the watch. Bam! Sucker! And
Jade
you
and Frederick right now.
so you get behind the bar and you see the bartender's like got 2 barrels pointing at you. He's like, oh. Because you guys are ducking down and hiding
Yeah.
too. He's like, oh, okay. So there's the door you can
Well, would I have seen them enter the building?
It's been, you're,
Because I haven't said anything loud enough. But I
no,
can hear them, so I don't think I would have
I
seen
don't think you would have.
them. Okay, so at that point, I think Jade would just take Frederick out, because
Okay.
that's what she'd be
So-
focused on.
Okay, so I'm gonna have Frederick roll a thievery to just, I think just a thievery, just to see how well you're holding all this stuff that you kind of jammed in your everything.
This is funny.
Okay. There you go.
Just gonna listen to me in the background.
Okay, so, one success and a critical fail.
One
Ooh.
success and a critical
Ooh.
fail. Okay, you're
Okay.
noticing that he's kind of dropping stuff, and it's a trail. Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
Well, Jade at that point would probably, before they got out of the building, she would kick the
door
stuff
shut?
on the floor
Yeah.
and the door shut,
Yeah.
and then she would just start picking up whatever he's dropping, and she'd be like, "Frederick, you're dropping it!"
I'm
Okay,
sorry, I'm
roll-
blind in one eye. Thank you.
Okay, so
Sorry, I'm blind in one eye.
well, you've definitely been drinking and you're acting like it, so that's splendid.
I can't believe we're robbing the town people. Well, I'm
We're
not.
not robbing them. I'm taking what's rightfully
Yeah,
Could-
not
I mean,
anymore.
Roll a thievery. Just a
2 successes.
okay. So you both.
Yeah, 10
So what
successes.
you do, Frederick, is you usually have your pants tucked into your boots,
Yeah.
and so, but what happened is when you went down, it untucked it. So you tucked it back in, and so you're like stuffing the coins and stuff back in, and you're trying to button things up, but it's kind of like your stuff is well fitted and it's not fitting just right. And you're like you're going, and Jade's helping, and you guys make it back to the hotel. I'm just keeping this for myself at the moment.
It's probably gonna be used against me.
No.
Oh, nice.
What do you do?
So, well, did Cedric leave?
Yeah, what does Cedric do? Are you staying for the?
After he told me to go home, I just say, okay, and then I step out the bar and just sit there and sip on schnapps, because I know he's gonna need, I have a feeling he's gonna need some repairs after this.
Repairs like he's a warforged. Okay, fantastic. So what do you do?
I'm not gonna charge straight into the middle. I'm gonna look to see if there's any like women or children or
Hit
any.
the women first.
No, like
Okay.
not to attack them, to defend them, or if there's like 4 guys beating on one guy.
Okay, so roll an observation. Remember, it's
Harder.
He just throws. It's like the lady behind the bar just hits her.
I forget where my observation is.
awareness.
There it
There's
is,
women.
Anyway,
2
Don't do that.
successes.
Well, that or what?
That's borderline miraculous because my observation's not great.
Okay, so you've got kind of a moment of clarity, and you're seeing like these 3 guys kind of just like grounding and pounding this one guy.
Oof.
So you charge over there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you roll? You have your pistol out.
Yeah. So I'm. What's am I coming up like on their backs?
Side, their side.
Okay.
Because remember, you've got a room of a whole bunch of other people. So this is your channel. This is your
Okay.
yeah.
So the first thing, I would probably shout, "Hey, get off him!" and at the same time take the butt of my gun and hit whichever guy's closest to me in the back of the head. Because I'm assuming since he's leaning over,
Okay.
I'm not gonna try to
Roll
kill
a
him. But
roll a melee.
great, my melee is incredible. Can I kill by accident before I roll this?
Yes, you can.
Oh,
well, you
shoot.
might as well roll it. That's
This is not. I did not know that going into this. So if I kill this poor man, oh praise God, I didn't kill him. Just 1 success.
1 success.
Yes.
Roll your damage.
Should I use my skill to get an extra success? I can. Oh, that's for damage die. How many of these do I have?
It should be written there.
Where is she just took it from me, so I don't know where I'm supposed to look to see where it's written.
2.
2 damage.
But
Okay.
you also get bonus. Did you put anything in might?
Yeah, I have a ton of might. I have. Well, okay, so I don't have a skill or focus in might. That's what you're asking. My target number is 10.
So you
I have 3 skill in melee and 2 focus.
okay. So without might, you're not getting the bonus of your athleticism with your
Okay.
physical prowess because you don't know how to use it.
Okay.
So you just roll those dice. And tell me what the numbers are.
Just roll.
It's a 4 and a 3.
Okay.
But I have a no mercy skill where I can choose to reroll damage dice equal to my melee focus
Yep.
if I want to. So what are the 4
what's
and a
your,
3?
What's your focus number?
3.
You can re-roll them.
Or my focus number is actually 2. I'm mistaken.
So you can
What is
re-roll.
3 and 4? That's just effects.
That's nothing.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't want 3s and 4s.
I don't mind
A 5 and a
killing
2.
man, but no
You have
mercy.
a 5 and a 2.
yes.
Okay, a 5 and a 2. So that's 2 damage.
Okay.
And what are the qualities under pistol whip?
Close
Stun.
and stun. Yeah, just stun. Because the
Just
range
stun?
is close. Yep.
Okay, so you definitely stun him.
Sweet.
He just kind of lulls and is like shaking his head, and he's turning to you. But you can definitely tell that he probably can't see for a little bit.
Great. Is it another action or minor action if I tell him to back off?
Well, talking is pretty much free within reason.
Okay.
Because and how many successes did you have? You
2.
just had
1.
yeah,
1 or
you-
2.
yeah, you just had the 1, so
Okay, so
that
just
means
1.
you don't have enough momentum to actually have another attack or anything. So
Okay.
you just
Yeah.
so you just like get off him and then you hit this guy.
Yeah, and then I say I think he's had enough. And
Okay.
then I would probably, obviously I don't have an action, but even if I did, I wouldn't.
Okay, so in that split second, the guy in the bottom pulls out 2 smaller derringers and just
Oh, no.
belly shots both the guys that are on top of him. They
No.
lull and he starts running.
What? That's terrible.
His face is messed up.
I'm gonna start down and try to do any kind of first aid I can. I don't know.
Well, they just got pretty much right underneath the sternum.
So they're dead.
Right in between 5 minutes to 6 hours. Yeah,
Dang.
but you don't know that.
So I'm gonna like pat him and I'm gonna look at him and look around and
Yeah, so you're getting covered in blood.
yeah. And
Yep.
Now Tulok thinks I don't want people to think that I did this.
Yep.
And so I'm gonna try to wipe my hands on them and back out of the room.
Okay. All right. Roll a stealth or a deception.
Both of these are probably trash. Let's see.
I just imagine like Jade and Frederick are sitting at one of the tables just counting
Oh,
what's
you
left.
like, this happened like as the door
Oh,
was shutting,
Okay.
and you're hearing like gunshots now, like echoing as you guys are like picking the coins up and running.
Frederick, it's a good thing we got out of there.
Just one success.
Yeah, I know.
One
that's
success?
right.
Yeah.
You trip over people. Dang it! And you still get out, but it's not pretty. It's just like you're crawling out sometimes and getting up.
Okay.
And so by the time you get out with Cedric, you can definitely see the sheriff. You get outside the door and like you're with Cedric, and you and Cedric, I'm guessing, are going back to the
Yeah.
hotel. The sheriff is on his way.
Is he close enough to see blood on me?
You don't,
You
There's
don't
no
know.
way to know. Well,
Well,
I'm gonna just try to cover up as much blood as I can and keep walking.
okay. All right.
Grumpy big Native Americans.
Yeah. Arms crossed.
yeah.
Yeah.
The blood fuels me.
Okay. So
Imagine if I still had the axe. The guy would be going crazy right now.
So you guys are booking it. Now you're noticing Jade and Frederick, and they're both running like this, like they're holding like kittens, like just like trying and running like really ridiculous.
What's gotten into them?
But you guys are walking fast, trying to get away. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're thinking like, oh my gosh, they're gonna think that I
They're
did
gonna
it.
think I killed somebody.
Yeah. So
Somebody's.
yeah, and then you get back to the hotel, and so like that was. Just so you know, everything that just happened was because of those 2d20s you guys each rolled.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
That's actually really exciting. So we all just walked in the hotel together?
Well, it's a little bit different time because they were running and
Yeah,
you were
so we-
walking fast.
we
Because
were-
if you want to be running too, you can. But I don't think Cedric is gonna.
I don't.
No.
Yeah.
You guys are
Cedric
taking
looks
it
like he
nice.
froze. Are you still there, Cedric? I
I
think.
saw him move.
Okay.
I'm shooting a text.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's there. He's present.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so you go in and that you're actually seeing because it's later at night now,
Okay.
and so Thaddeus is kind of walking. It looks like he's got like a drink. He's like, as you guys are coming in, and right. and, Jade definitely recognizes the look on his face, and so do you, Frederick. I'm going to be spending money. And he just starts going up the steps. And then you guys come through, and he like glances back.
Thaddeus, it wasn't me. I did not kill those
Go
people.
get cleaned up now. And he just keeps going up the steps.
And I whispered to Jade, "You think he's gonna be happy that we actually made money this time?"
You know, I think this is very promising. I think this is very promising.
Wait,
Frederick.
you guys made money?
Oh, no, no.
You're,
Jade-
I was
so-
on my way out, but I
Yeah.
stopped. Like,
Yeah.
you
So
guys made
Jade
money?
would go, "Oh, by the way," and give Tulak
Okay.
back his
with my bloody
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay, so now the amount of blood that comes out from an abdomen
It's a lot.
wound, even from a little Derringer, it was point blank. So it was a lot. So your hands,
Yeah.
but you'd wiped it off. So it's actually to that and because it's kind of dusty and dry in the air, it's doing that weird crackle,
oh yeah.
and so it's
I would ask
Yeah.
you to. Would you mind to set that on the counter until I can?
Jade would put it back in her. Like,
okay.
I know how much is in there. Walk back over to the sink or
Oh,
wherever the
gosh.
closest thing is, or the
There's-
water bowl is.
There's wash basins around.
Sweet.
So so you're doing that as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Cedric, are you trying to help clean him up?
No. It's not integrated.
Well, like I'm guessing as you guys were walking fast, you were checking him. He's like, "You're fine."
where'd this
Where did
blood-
this blood come from?
I'm not washing them if that's your.
Okay.
That's what you're.
Oh, because I was imagining a grumpy like uncle with one hand, like, why did you get into this?
Yeah.
So, but so
Just
you're
rub some dirt in it.
so Jade and Frederick, where are you gonna count this? Well, also it's stashed pretty weird in you, Frederick. So
Yeah.
Well,
Well, the first thing as I remark is I'll kind of like rub myself because I've got the gold and everything. I'll be like, I feel like I just finished Mardi Gras.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
yo.
Yep.
so as far as counting it, Frederick probably needs to go to his room and take his clothes
Yep.
off, let all the money fall to the floor,
Oh,
and then
that's
Jade
true.
would come in and
Yep.
after he was dressed again to
Okay.
count
Important
the,
clarification.
Yeah,
Yep.
I want to clarify that
Okay.
there's no funny business. She's not trying to play with Lady Death. So,
Hey, yo.
No. Okay,
Nope.
so
Nope.
okay, so there were, and so I want you to roll 5d6, Frederick, and let me know what the numbers are.
While they're doing this, Tulak would probably get some coffee down at that.
You're really thirsty too.
Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah.
a big thing of water and a big thing of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 4s, a 3, a 1, and a 6.
Okay. All right. That's really not a good roll.
No.
Can I spend a fortune and redo the whole thing?
I don't think you want to be using your fortunes on this.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so as you're looking, it looked like you'd gotten deeds, and right off the bat, Jade can see that they're totally fake deeds. Like they were supposed to be like silver mines, like not like. Wait a second. I've seen This isn't good. But then the bank bills you've got that would be about man, you got 2 4s and a 3. Does not help at all. You got the 6. So you've got about $120 in coins and cash.
Okay.
And then you got that watch, and there is like a family ring, but it smells like manure.
Okay.
So that's
Is that everything?
that's pretty much everything. But because you did roll that complication, and because you've had all this stuff kind of stashed with you, the next few days you're gonna have a rash.
Oh, jeez. Well, while we're still there,
Yep.
Frederick with his head in his hand, just like sighing, and go. Is there any way we can use this for extortion or blackmail?
It's very possible that we can hold on to these fake deeds. I don't know if we have a way of tracking down who's handing out fake deeds, but we may be able to leverage these at some point. Not that I'm a big fan of lying anymore, but these could come in handy at a later date if we can't use them here in town.
All right. Well, I think we got it pretty good. $120 this watch. And
There was a lot more there, but as you were kind of running, you dropped.
You can keep the stinky ring. I don't really care for any of it. You can keep all of it, frankly, but I really don't want the stinky ring.
Yeah.
all right.
Oh my gosh, I just remembered the whole thing that happened to me beforehand.
Yep.
So at this time, Jade would go, "Oh, by the way," and so she'd pull out these little the
Okay.
stuff.
And being that you're in there, you can see what's dangling on the chains now.
Okay, and so I'd be like, "Look at this. These were all these little kids that took stuff from Cedric and Tulok," and so I followed them, and they disappeared.
You can tell
In front of
any
me.
this.
Not right now. You're
Okay.
drunk.
Hopefully,
You guys are still talking about bunk beds, so.
Yep, you were.
And so she'd be like, they disappeared in front of me, but all the belongings stayed. But they must have been wearing these chains with this little symbol on it, and so I grabbed them because
Okay,
that was,
as you're looking at that, Frederick, roll me either an occult or mysticism.
This is my territory. You say.
I was gonna say Frederick and Jade getting bonding time.
Okay. I'll roll a mysticism.
Okay.
The big chunk and the nerd.
Just the
No,
2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. You get that sleep paralysis feeling in your gut, and then you grab one of the chains and you're looking at the shape, and as you kind of turn it, it looks like it's like a stone, like obsidian, or like a black flint, or like a black glass stone. And as you keep turning it, it's kind of it's very off-putting. Like as you're looking at it, you're just like, I don't really like looking at this. And then she talked about how they just kind of disappeared into shadow. You're kind of remembering guess the term would be shadow man.
Oh.
Spooky.
Yeah, you understand the feeling. I'm guessing you set that down.
Yeah, I set that down and I go, ooh, those are spooky.
Yep. But they were worn by children with just the and kind of as you're remembering those stripes that were next to that was almost like it was makeup. It was like different like where the heck why were they wearing that?
Why were they wearing makeup?
Yeah.
I mean, Egyptian people, even the men wore makeup, so
Yeah.
to be frank, it's
Yeah.
pretty normal.
Yeah, but you've got those and those. You said you grabbed the cloaks too,
cloaks.
so it's kind of like ash on the inside.
Yeah.
It wasn't from them. It just seems what the sacks were. But yeah, so that was
It's neat.
it was pretty neat.
Odd, yeah.
So that was a few weeks in.
Nice.
You were moving a lot during that, so that's why it took the 3 months.
Yeah, getting in a bar fight.
He was inebriated.
Yeah. So a few days later, the sheriff does stop by.
Okay.
Jeremiah was definitely talked to. Pretty long time with Thaddeus there. Did anybody kind of go up and?
Yes, Jade will.
Okay.
I would try to do it in a non-obvious way.
Okay. So the sheriff already doesn't really like.
Yeah.
A lot of y'all.
Any
Because
of
I
us.
killed that one dude.
Jade did. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Jade butchered him.
Very particularly does
Yep.
not like me.
Yeah. But I was talking to Jeremiah. Was pointed out and you were brought into it, Frederick, because like the fight kind of all started because of your hand. In the game, so Jeremiah pretty much paralyzed that guy with one hit. Messed up his face real good. He just like next time, maybe don't use the dusters unless it's life or death. Because like like Thaddeus is like, well, I'll pay to fix the ostentatious. Like what else do you need, sir? And he just is kind of like, well, there was another individual that got clocked in the back of the head, and 2 of his buddies got shot in the guts. A little fella ran away, but your big guy over there was the one that clocked him.
In my defense, I thought that they were killing the man on the ground. I had no way of knowing that he had two little guns that he killed some people with shortly thereafter I freed him. Had I known that he had these weapons and was planning to use them, I would not have gotten involved.
Roll persuade.
We all know that Tulok's famous for his persuasion here. Where is his persuasion? Oh, there he's right there. Personality. 0 successes.
Very nice. He didn't. He is stink eyeing you. Thaddeus actually like steps in between. He is one of my employees. I will handle it as I'm handling the case of the Lady in the Mercantile and finding Miss Lily, correct? And let's do some.
You rolling against yourself right now.
Oh boy.
Maybe I should have just said nothing and let Thaddeus do the talking.
Strong silent type really helps. Okay. The sheriff just kind of tips his hat and like glances back at you and walks out the door.
Jade would go. Maybe next time, don't say anything at all.
Okay.
Don't speak.
Okay.
You had noticed Jeremiah wasn't saying anything. He was just kind of letting Thaddeus.
Let Thaddeus do the talking this time. Yeah.
Yeah, lesson learned. I got it. I got it. He's like,
This is big man just sulking.
yeah,
Yep.
he's definitely sulking.
Okay. So everyone's spent their experience. I'll do that for Jeremiah before next time.
Was my talent 400 experience just to make sure I deducted the right amount?
The talent?
Yeah, for my Born in the Saddle talent.
No, that's just 200.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Thank you.
Because that's the first one.
Right.
Until I modify our own talent thing, but that takes a lot more time than everything else. All that kind of took time. Okay, so we've done that. Now, do you ask Jeremiah about that individual he talked to? You haven't even said a single word to Jeremiah.
Well, in the time frame of the few weeks, I would have just trying to bridge the gap, trying to get to know Jeremiah a little bit better because I know there's tension there, but I don't think we've even talked about Lily ever. So I don't know if it would, do you think it'd be a good idea for Tulak to bring up Lily with Jeremiah? I haven't yet because I
I think you
figured
should
it
just
would be
go
sensitive.
talk to Jeremiah first.
Okay, we can roleplay that. I just imagined he was doing regular check-ins with Jeremiah, but we can roleplay that.
Well, like, what would you have wanted to talk to about?
Just general questions about the way he interacts with the people around him with the white man culture. Different ways he interacts with his horses, because I've been learning a lot about horses.
Okay.
And if he had just... he'd probably actually talk a lot about punching, too.
Okay, well,
Or arm
he was
wrestling.
he was pretty quiet about. He just give you kind of 1 or 2 word answers but answer your questions. Just about talking to people, just like say as little as possible, but get your point across. Then about punching, think your arm is a whip, and your hand is the end of it.
He probably would have done a little practicing with Jeremiah, right? Like not with Jeremiah, but like shadow boxing.
No,
Just next
Tulak
to
dies
Jeremiah.
right there.
Like you just kind of doing this, like
Yeah,
Jeremiah.
like talking through it, but not like if this is Jeremiah, Tulak's doing it a different
Okay.
direction, like talking
Okay.
through it.
Well, you're doing that for a second, then you just glance over, and one of his knuckle dusters is being spun around like just, and then you glance back and it's gone.
Nice.
All right then, because he's sitting at the bar in the Majestic, and this is what's happening. And so he's got his little ashtray and his cigar. That's kind of what I'm imagining you going up when he's
Yeah.
kind of on his own. That
Yeah.
initially his kind of shoulders went down. He's like, trying to have a moment here.
Yeah.
So
He's not gonna persevere through it,
so
but he wouldn't overstay his welcome
Okay.
either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So different moments like that throughout the time. Okay.
Yeah.
Any major conversation you wanted to have with him, or that was kind of the main?
Up to you if you want to bring up Lily.
So at some point, if they were alone, Tulak would bring up Lily. And he wouldn't come sit next to him at the bar. He might sit like a seat or two
Across the
across.
room.
Only if they were alone, so the setting would be chosen very carefully.
Okay.
And,
so Jeremiah does eat with y'all, but then sometimes he kind of eats his own meal every once in a while. So during one of those times, you could totally do that.
Yeah.
Now, how do you bring up Lily?
Well, I would say as few words as possible to get my point across.
All right.
So-
what would that be?
So they're eating at the same time, or is this right after the meal?
Well, he's
He's eating by himself.
He's eating
You're
by himself.
approaching him.
At a table?
Mhm.
Okay, so then I would sit opposite, with the opposite end of the table, slide a chair out, and say, sure you noticed this by now, Jeremiah, but I've got a lot of learning to do. And I came in here way more aggressive than I probably should have. And in the process, I took a lot of missteps with Lily. And I've gotten the impression that you knew her or were friends with her or kins with her, or you had some form of relation or friendship with her, and my efforts were there to protect her and myself, but it backfired on me. I just wanted to clear the air between the two of us, let you know it was not intentional. If you have any advice, I'm open to it.
Why do you think I have a history with her?
Just kind of was implied to me by some of my compadres.
Jade, like, from the... is, like, trying to eavesdrop.
Well, I spend a lot of time with individuals that have the ear of every town they're in. And I heard from them that Lily cared for someone before you even came here. That she seemed to have dreamed about them. And that she was a very loyal individual. So hearing that you gave her to someone with my background, I don't appreciate. On top of it seems she's gone. Those that I spent time with, that I said before, have the ear, I said it here. They care much for Lily, so that means I do too.
It's hard to explain what it's like when there is an entity in your head bound to your body screaming for blood. This is gonna sound weird, and I didn't necessarily mean to go into this, but the axe, there was some kind of voice or spirit or some kind of
You were
other.
talking to the axe.
Yes, and this is gonna sound crazy, but it fuels you and it misguides you, and I was not thinking clearly when it came to Lily.
Why were you thinking that you were thinking clearly in the first place? You were talking to an axe.
Now that the axe is gone, that seems pretty obvious, and I acknowledge that. And if there's anything I can do to make it right,
He's definitely checking the room, like when you acknowledge that you've actually started talking to a crazy person,
yeah,
you're like, why is no one helping me?
yeah. I know this sounds strange, Jeremiah, and this is why I tried to spare you the details. If there's anything I can do to make it right for Lily's sake, I will. The same thing that just happened to Lily happened to me, as near as I can tell.
Okay. Well, he just stands up and just kind of does not give his back to you.
Yeah.
Just pushes in his chair, kind of wipes his mouth with You have a good night. And it's the middle of the day. He just kind of...
Yeah. Tulak would just sit there and let him go. There's no salvaging that.
If you recall, he does everything that is like otherworldly. He doesn't believe that he's been kind of explaining it off in different ways. So you just...
Yeah. He has no concept.
He thinks you're straight up...
Insane.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
Yeah. Tulak would just like... Well... And he'd probably go talk to the horse.
Okay. I would have had you roll, but I think that's pretty much how the rolls would have went.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so...
Did I ever tell you my horse's name?
No.
Icebreaker.
Icebreaker.
Yeah.
Cool.
In the desert, doesn't seem, but it reminds him of home. So.
Okay, cool. So, put this like that because I don't Oh yeah, Cedric, if you want to use that Tesla gun again, you gotta charge up those batteries somehow.
Oh. Is there an outlet anywhere?
It depends on if you need a lightning cable or a USB or what.
Yeah. They don't got that.
How did I
Type-C.
do it initially?
Initially, so let's have you roll. I'm going to have you roll 3 things. Number 1, you're going to roll an alchemy, a contraption, and then let's have you roll a craft.
Okay. Alchemy.
Yep.
Craft. I'll roll alchemy first.
Okay.
2d20s.
Yep.
Oh. 3 successes
Okay.
on the alchemy. The craft. Where's my craft? Oh, it's 1 success on the craft.
Okay.
And then what was the last one?
Contraptions. Underneath artillery.
2 successes on contraption.
Awesome. Okay. So after you fired it, you notice that some of the outsides of the batteries themselves have cracked because of the amount of power going through it. So that alchemy was you and the craft were together to kind of remake the outsides to and the contraption. Alchemy is you're putting new acids in. So you're putting new acids to have new chemical reactions. You're definitely using multiple windmills to try to power things. It looks terrifying behind the Majestic because you've started building like windmills and you're just kind of hanging stuff outside just to try to make power to power this. It looks like a creepier Frankenstein's lab kind of sticking out.
I was gonna say, it reminded like a haunted house almost, just like spooky.
But just out of his room.
Yeah.
Like just one spot out of the room, out of the building. Thaddeus, about a month in, asks, like, you get a note like underneath your door asking, did you choose? And then yeah, that occupy a lot of your time, Cedric, doing that. Okay. Who wants to do something?
So Jade would have. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to ask for the book to read.
4.
Magic spell.
Okay. Well, it matters on which spell too, because I got the other one too.
I'll check this one. It was for the wild shape. Or shape shifting. But I don't remember what it's called in Conan.
Form of beast.
Form of beast. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I just want to read this while you're playing.
So Jade would have wanted to talk to Thaddeus anyway about the little like spooky chain necklaces.
Okay.
And because that spooky.
Okay.
So I guess she'd go to his office while he was in there, but she'd bring it'd be like she has a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Like it'd be like this awkward, like she's like
Okay.
bringing stuff because I feel like she's got a lot of things recently. So, but she'd like knock and be like, "Can I come in? Is now a good time?"
Yeah. Yeah.
With all this stuff. So she first would be like, "Look at this," and hold out these little spooky chains and be like. And she would go through explain the whole story about how she got them. Like she was like, so the night that they got in a bar fight and I helped Frederick steal stuff.
So he's like holding one of them and he's like looking at it and you're explaining this. Okay.
And they were really spooky, but I totally forgot about it because I was too busy trying to help Frederick get out of a bar fight.
Okay.
And then Tulok showed up covered in blood.
Okay. Well, I'll actually talk to Frederick about this. He may know a little bit, but I'll ask some questions and stuff. Do you want to keep one of these, or do you want me to just look into it?
I'll keep one.
Okay. So.
Put it back in her
Okay.
bag, like kind of quickly, because
Okay.
she doesn't like the feel like she gets either.
Oh, yeah,
but
it-
she doesn't really want to give it up either, because
Okay.
it's like one of those weird, like, it's kind of spooky.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to think what else. Oh, so the little kit she got.
Yep.
She would have that, and she would want to know more about it because she doesn't really like. She would have no concept of like.
What he's like? Well, he opens it up and he's like, to my understanding and to the way that Ivan was told by the individual that sold it to him, that this was a vampire slaying kit or something, and probably about 1812 it was made. And as you see, it hasn't been used, so it just might make someone feel better. I didn't even have it checked out if it was real holy water or anything like that. I'm just hoping that this can maybe make you feel a little bit better because of the way you came upon Carlos and them. So, yeah.
And then, so Jade would just be sitting there, and she'd be like, "So I've noticed you've been sleeping in your office." Because Jade doesn't understand and have any like, so she just kind of
Okay.
be like, "Oh, okay." And I've also noticed you're sleeping in your office.
Yes, I have. I've given all the other rooms to other people, and your old room, I do not want to sleep in. So,
Jade wouldn't really know how to process that, so she would pull out the map of Montana.
okay.
She'd put it on the table.
Okay.
And she would go, "I appreciate the offer to go to Montana, but I think there's more for me here in the desert than
Okay.
that would be Jade's like awkward way of saying she doesn't want to go to Montana and she'd rather have dinner with Thaddeus."
Okay. So
But it'd be like a really awkward
so he's
like,
like, so he straight up like, would you prefer to just be the employee, or do you? It's like he's like stammering. He's like really having trouble. He's like, so do you want the option of the one under the one, or do you?
Which one?
Yeah. So that's
So Jade would I'm trying to figure out how Jade would say this. She would say, "I don't care to be a favorite employee. I would prefer the other option."
okay. He definitely blushes, and then however you want to have like the dinner and stuff like that, that's totally up to you. So you can describe that if you'd like.
I'll give somebody else the option to go first before I guess we do that.
Okay.
But
All right.
I want to get that out of the way.
Okay. Cool. Are you wanting to do anything, Frederick?
Well, I was thinking that I could help Thaddeus study.
Okay. Because it's studying, I am going to have it do be occultism.
Okay.
And we're just kind of just rolling occultism. And what are you studying into? Like, because he has an extensive limited library, if that makes sense. So
Yeah. Just kind of see if there's like a pattern for the disappearances of those places,
okay.
and then anything else that he might need to research for us or for anything else.
Okay. Roll
Just
away.
whatever he's researching.
Okay.
Yeah. And that'd be one success.
Okay. With one success, there is writings on like like shadow men
Mm-hmm.
in an old grimoire that he has that you're like flipping through and you're like, this is not real. Like parts of it, like you're like, it's like someone wrote it like as a story, and then then it goes to the shadow men. You're like, okay, this section is totally real, and then it goes to like randomness again. So you're finding out most of his books are like that. You're having to like pick out the hay and the sticks like again and again and again and everything. So like most of his books are marked like with like bookmarkers, like ribbons and stuff like that. Like this page is okay, because a lot of these people are considered mad.
Yeah.
Now the disappearances of the places, you definitely don't see a pattern other than that there was a smaller group of people that all agreed that it was there, but it's not now. So there is that pattern. The Shadow Men. Yeah, with that one success, you kind of get that. And this is a long period of time you going through this. You do notice that there's a pretty regular influx of him getting new books, and then if there's books that aren't marked up at all, he kind of sends them off.
If they aren't marked up at all, he sends them on.
Yep. So if he doesn't want any information from it, he seems to send it off.
Gotcha. And then I'd also like to give him $100 for the ostentatious, and just be like, "This cover everything."
Oh, are you sure?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was partly our fault, partly not our fault, but still, it's like, whatever comes out of your pocket really comes out of our pocket. So I don't see why it can't be the same, vice versa.
Oh, thank you. I'll just set to the side for the moment.
All right. Plus, you're my friend, so I mean, I don't want you to have to make a whole bunch of expenses on my behalf.
Huh. I have never had anyone offer to pay for anything before.
Probably because you're rich enough to pay for it yourself.
Yeah. It's a strange
But-
feeling.
But that'd be using you, you know? I know that you know. Come on, Thaddeus. I mean, we both had parents that have lived in the limelight, so
Yes. Yes.
so we're well aware of mooches and leeches.
Yes. Well aware. So I'll just.
Anyway.
That was funny.
Okay.
Drop
Notepad. So you want to do anything else, Frederick?
No.
Okay. Anyone else?
I accomplished my to-do list
Okay,
pretty early.
cool.
This particular game.
All right. What would Jade like to do then?
Can Thaddeus go horseback riding, or is that too difficult?
He can.
He can.
He's just at a slower rate. You did that last time.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I couldn't remember what we did last time, so I was like,
He's got like a special saddle on the one side. It's like almost straps that one leg in. So it's really dangerous because
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be rough.
yeah.
But the horse that he rides is definitely an older horse that does not want to go fast.
That's probably what Jade would want to do, is just
Okay.
like get out of the town and just kind of go meander around. And
Okay.
because she's not real big on like the fancy dinner thing. Like, it's not really Jade's thing, so.
Okay. Well, he definitely goes for a ride. Like he's definitely sweating like crazy being out.
It's warm.
Yeah, it's not. So this would be in the first month, so that would be the end of August, September. So it's October, end of October when you're healed up.
Nice.
So, do you send off any letters, Frederick, to anyone that you know?
Yeah, I probably will.
Okay. And so like that's kind of like the times that you set aside with Thaddeus to do that.
Yep.
Okay. So, you've been healed up probably like a week, like full, and then you're like, okay, you feel like you can go out and do stuff again.
Okay.
Thaddeus has like been checking up on everyone, making sure that they're okay.
I'd do any kind of laborious tasks for Thaddeus that he would need, because I'm kind of strong and Winslow is gone, so I'm not talking like build him a new building, but if he needed to rearrange furniture or...
He won't allow you to do that until you're tip top.
Jade could go horseback riding with Philip, though.
Yep. So,
Yeah, we would have done that a
That
lot.
would have been his, like,
Yeah.
Yep.
thing.
Okay. So,
Yeah, probably a lot.
he brings everybody in, and the other group did come back
Oh, yay.
for like about the middle of that'll be October. They look pretty jaded. They're like they went in their rooms and like slept like 2 days straight.
Dang.
And then they got up and they kind of went off, like, we're gonna just take a break for a little bit.
Good for them.
Jotner really didn't change his countenance about stuff, but he definitely slept that amount of time. And he just like, they all kind of split ways just to kind of take a break. They'll be back again, but you were not in the debriefing of what they
Aw.
experienced. You can ask Thaddeus, but I'll have you roll a persuade to actually see.
I'll ask.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. My persuade is not great. I'll roll to his sister if she needs it.
1 success.
Ooh, let me try to help, just in case.
Did you have the hair tonic?
You know what? I'll use the hair tonic.
So you'd have 2 successes.
Okay.
Okay, so he,
I don't want to risk the failure unless she needs it. Does she need 3?
not necessarily. No. He explains what they faced was terrifying and invulnerable to gunfire, most blades, and Jotner showed some of his ferocity with his blade, and that was the only thing that seemed to actually injure it. And what it did is it flew off, and they made sure it didn't return, but they just came back because it was just a terrifying, terrifying flying creature.
Nice.
I don't know how to describe a pterodactyl back in that day, but Jade would try to compare it to that.
We've
thing.
seen one.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but we wouldn't. No, it wouldn't be.
Well, and then
called a
then what he
pterodactyl.
describes is actually it had like human arms and then goat legs
Ooh.
and like elongated neck and horns, but then at different times it would look different. It was absolutely terrifying.
Good thing Yonder was there. Those guys would be toast.
I knew that. I knew it.
What is it, Frederick?
So, I mean, it's a Jersey Devil, but I don't know if Frederick would know that. In fact, Frederick wouldn't know that.
Well, you might have heard something.
That's
We'll
cool.
look it up.
All right.
Yeah. So he explains that, like, because it's from them explaining to him, so it is kind of like pieced together. So in your, he's like, I have a possible job if you guys would like to go.
Yes.
It seems that there's been a lot of suicides and murders in this one town, and I've been contacted by the it's not the patriarch of the town, the ones that really just kind of the owners of the mines, really, just to make sure that their people are okay. And it's but if you're willing to do it, I can give you the little bit of information that I have, and you guys can head out.
Is everyone ready for that? I'm ready. Are you guys good with that?
I'm ready.
Does Jeremiah want to come with us?
Yeah, he'll be going. Most likely.
Where is it?
It's in California.
Oh, fun. I came down to California.
All right.
What part of California?
It's like he brings out a map and he's like, it's like pretty much central, but yeah, like right at the cusp of like the end of where like the Mexican border.
Oh, yes.
Like right, that's not really, that's kind of central.
So, yeah, I'd love to. So the only thing we know about this is that there's murder and suicide.
It's
Alarming, right?
well, they're trying not to freak their people out, so even the information that I was given was very minimal to make sure that if
Somebody read it.
they wouldn't be, because it all is all mainly via telegraph. So
Yeah. Gotcha.
yeah, but the number of suicides is pushing 30, and the murders look over 20.
Do they have any diagrams, pictures, anything?
Most likely they could point out where they were and everything. Like I said, I've been doing correspondence, and it's very difficult to actually have the consistent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's load up.
Okay.
Unless there's anything else we should know, Thaddeus.
I don't believe so.
Cue the loading all our weapons montage.
Okay. So as you guys are kind of heading out to the train station, there's a what?
With
the
icebreaker.
Snoop horse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks first fishing with his horse.
yeah. And so you're going, and there's a like a parcel carrier from the another train just runs up to you, Cedric, and hands you a letter, and just kind of goes off it as he's kind of handing things out.
Okay.
Open it.
I mean, I would open it. Yeah.
Okay, so you unfold, and there's like no where it was from or anything like that, and if anybody's glancing at it, it kind of looks like scribbles.
Okay.
But and only you can recognize it. It says "good shot."
Good shot.
Yep.
That's it.
Wasn't the only thing he shot was his hand?
Hey, yo!
It's a snake. He's not dead.
With the Tesla
Me.
gun.
So do you show anybody the page?
Yeah. I mean, I would pass it around and be like, "I told you I could shoot."
Okay, so it just looks like random scribblings
Really?
on a piece of paper.
It doesn't say anything to us.
No.
I would say, Cedric, this is. I can't read this.
You guys would totally believe that he's beyond crazy.
Yeah. I'd be like, and you told me he was.
Oh, well, it says good shot. I didn't know you guys were illiterate. I'm sorry.
Who watched you shoot what?
I don't know.
Or
but
was
I
it like
shot,
the
the only
schnapps?
thing I can remember I shot was that big snake.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yes, you're very much welcome.
Didn't you shoot your own hand?
He stabbed it.
He stabbed you.
So, if you shot the snake, and we were all fighting the snake, Who watched you shoot the snake?
God.
The twins and Maurice.
God.
Maurice. Why Maurice could still be alive. We don't know if
But
he's
why
dead.
would he send you a letter that we can't read?
I don't know.
Cedric, are you sure it
Did
says?
you-
Are you sure?
Cedric, have you been drinking?
Have you not been drinking?
I'm always drinking.
Yeah. Have
I
you
mean,
sobered
does
up?
it look like you wrote this to yourself?
Well, if I did, it's pretty good.
Oh, it is pretty good, yeah.
Jade would like tip her hat and get on the train.
Well, I don't think I wrote this, so I'm going to keep it anyway.
Let's
But,
just keep
if
an
this
eye
is
out.
from someone else, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, let's keep an eye out, because if someone's watching you shoot things, that means they're also watching us shoot things, and they haven't helped, so they're probably not friendly.
Yeah, why hasn't Jade gotten a good shot yet? She shot a lot of things.
Killed a lot of
They
things.
weren't as good as yours, Cedric.
Oh.
Ooh,
Thank
you're
you.
you're real lucky. Jade's already on the train.
Hey, yo! Hey, too. No. Too luck.
You would have known that Frederick is a master of sarcasm.
Tulok would
Thank
bring
you.
his horse up on the train and be overly like, is this how the horse, is this comfortable? Is he fine right here? To Jade, he would be like over the top about his horse.
Yes, he'll be fine.
Okay.
He's
All right.
ridden
You
on a
sure?
train before.
Sure?
Yes,
Okay.
he's okay.
All right.
You just say your goodbyes, kiss him or whatever, and then get on the train.
Oh gosh.
Right on the forehead for sure. The horse's
That horse
forehead.
just headbutts you.
No, that horse loves me.
Maybe it has an attachment to you, but that doesn't mean it wants to be kissed.
Yeah. All right, and I think that's where we'll end our session.
Horse kiss.
Okay.
Yeah, horse kiss.
Horse kiss.
Was that entertaining?
Yeah, it was
Yes,
fun.
It was a lot of
Wait.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Well, see you guys next time.
Awesome.